What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do an update on my innovative marine Nuvo 20. The tank itself is actually doing it okay. I feel like it could be doing it a lot better, and that is mainly down to nutrients. You may notice that there's a couple of corals missing. I actually had to take out the forest fire digi because it was completely bleaching out. There is not enough nutrients in this system to maintain the colour in the forest fire digi. And I did also remove the bounce mushroom. You can see this area here is completely empty because I put that bounce mushroom back over to my Red Sea Reefer 250. I am trying to combat the issue with low nutrients, and I did add a new fish to this tank. I reached out to you guys and you guys absolutely filled my comment section with fish suggestions, so I really appreciate each and every single comment that you guys put up and all of the suggestions that I got. I am going to add 2 fish to this tank. I've added 1. You may not actually be able to see the fish that I've added because it's been in hiding ever since I've added it to the tank. I think I've seen it 3 times since I've added it, and I added it 2 weeks ago. I'm hoping that it's going to sort of come out of its shell and come out of the cave that it's sort of got in their rockwork. But I added a purple firefish to this tank. It's an absolutely stunning fish. I acclimated the fish and added it to the tank, and it was swimming around nicely for about 24 hours. Fed the fish the next day after I added it, and I think it got a little bit spooked. So it's been hiding in the rockwork ever since. I've had pretty much 24 hours after I added it. I've not seen it since. So I do try to put some food within its cave so it can actually eat, because I don't think every time I feed the tank it doesn't seem to come out at that point. So whenever I feed the clowns, I just put a little bit of food within the cave that it's made, just so it's not starving to death. But it's definitely still alive. It's a bit of a shame that it's not coming out, but I think given time it should start coming out of the rocks a little bit more and showing itself. They are pretty skittish fish and pretty shy fish, so we'll see. The clowns aren't aggressive towards it, although it is quite intimidated by the clowns. But yeah, hopefully it will start coming out a little bit more. As I say, I am going to add 1 more fish to this tank, and the fish that I'm going to get is a flame scooter blenny. I was a bit concerned that I didn't have enough of a pod population in this tank to support something like that, but when the lights go out, I tend to get my torch out, have a look around, see what the pod population is looking like, and it looks like it's pretty substantial, to be fair. I'm either going to get a pod culture or just get like a monthly subscription to copepods to keep adding to this tank once I add it to the system. But I'm hoping it should be all right. And I mean, I've actually got a mandarin that I keep in my Red Sea Reefer 250, and that is eating pellet food. So I'm hoping that eventually I will get the flame scooter blenny to eat pellet food, but you never know. So we'll sort something out with regards to pods so it doesn't starve. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to add a fish that's got a specific diet to this tank and then not give it the required diet. But yeah, we'll work on that. So yeah, nutrients are really low in this tank. They are very, very low. I think nitrates are about 0.5 parts per million, and phosphates are about 0.02. Phosphates are okay, but I do need to get nitrates up. It's a softy and LPS dominated tank, so I do need to sort of get nutrients up because a lot of them are starving. So the SPS that I've had to remove from the tank because it wasn't doing so well, that mushroom was almost completely bleached. And it's looking all right in the 250, so it's definitely a nutrients issue rather than anything else. I have started dosing Red Sea AB Plus to the tank because I know the nutrients are really low, so I don't want to starve the corals. So I am every day feeding, I think, 2 millilitres of Red Sea AB Plus just to keep the corals happy. And yeah, it seems to be doing a lot better since I've started doing that, but I really don't want to rely on a coral food to feed these corals. I really want to rely on the nutrients that in the system. So as I say, I've got 1 additional fish in there, although it does hide all the time and I've not seen it in weeks. And I'm going to add another fish to this tank, and then hopefully 4 fish in this system should really balance out the nutrients and keep these corals thriving. The rock flower anemone, I was having some massive issues with this rock flower, and to be honest, I've actually sorted it. I think it just had way too much room around its foot, and it was just being able to wave around in the flow. So I've actually put a few specific rocks around, and I've sort of wedged its foot in so it can't really wave around so much. So that rock flower is actually doing really well, and at one point I was considering removing it from the tank because it was doing my head in and stinging my zoas, but actually we've sorted that issue out now. With regards to everything else, I am actually going to remove this torch from the tank. I was in two minds whether to do it, but I've got a plan for the 250, my Red Sea Reefer 250, and I am actually going to remove this torch and put it back into the 250 because I want to start up the torch garden again in the Red Sea Reefer 250. So that's something that I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks. But yeah, overall the tank's doing okay. I think once I get a few more fish in the system, it will start balancing nutrients out and the tank will be a little bit happier. Once the zoas look happy, I'm actually going to get an order in and put a few more zoas in there. I am having a bit of an aptasia issue, and I've actually tried to combat that issue by getting some aptasia eating nudies, and I ordered them. I've put them in the tank. I put them in on Friday last week. I'm recording this on Sunday and this is going out on Thursday. I've not seen any decline in the aptasia population, but I'm just thinking they're sort of settling in. I mean, I don't know how many they eat a day. I mean, there's only 2 nudies that I put in the tank, and I don't know how fast it takes for them to clear it out. But there was a lot of aptasia in there, so they've got a lot of work and they've got a lot of food in there. And then as soon as I can, if I can, and they have cleared this tank, I will move those 2 over to the 250 and they can start work on that. They've got a lot of aptasia to eat in that Red Sea Reefer 250. I've got a real issue over there. But I'm hoping I can clear this tank out, then move them over to the 250. I mean, at least one small tank with no aptasia, because it's just an ongoing issue. And it's really just starting to bug me. It's one of those things that I just need to get rid of. I've tried Aptasia X and it just seems to spread the aptasia, so I'm going to go for the predator route and something that will actually eat that pest and get rid of it completely. But we'll see. I'll keep you updated on how that is going. And I think, to be honest, that is all for this week's update. It was just a really quick one. There's not much going on with this tank at the moment. I've not added any new corals. I will update you again when I've added the new fish. And I'm hoping that I can actually get some more footage of the new fish that I've added to the tank. And I'm hoping that it'll start coming out of its shell a little bit more, because it's actually a really nice fish and I'm a little bit gutted that it's hiding away in there. But it's just one of those things. I'm glad that it's not jumped out of the tank and it is just still in there and it is doing okay. It's just a little bit shy, but we'll see. So that'll wrap it up for this week's video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please do like, please do subscribe, and we shall catch you next week, guys.